Oh. Ah. Boy, do I like to run up here. I feel like Bugs Bunny. You got the beat. I like to skip along.
Hello my friends, and thank you for joining me in my den where we'll share a shave today. Today's kind of a special day. It's the 51st anniversary of Apollo 11's landing on the moon, and so in honor of that we're using our Apollo 11 shave soap. We'll be using a Camisari today. Also special, this is a Azuma, using it's made of Yuzuki steel, which comes from the iron sands in Japan. And this is has a harder, it's a Damascus type deal. There's a harder steel is in the middle, and then it's folded over and folded over. This is a handmade razor. Our brush today is my Friendship shaving brush made by dang it, can't remember. Well, it's from a user group here on Frank Shaving made this thing, and it's for the Friendship Shaving group on Facebook. It's nicknamed Macy. They put a deer on the bottom. Pretty nice brush. It's just a little bit smaller diameter. I think it's 19 millimeter. I use it as my travel brush, but I was cleaning it and it happened to be there, so I grabbed it, and here we go. I've got the soap already lathered. It did a real good job. It's plenty, has plenty of body on there, and we'll see how we get fragrance wise. This soap, well, my sniffer is not working real great here of late. It's one of my two, we're in the middle of one of my two allergy seasons, spring and summer, and then fall and winter. I have those are my two seasons. And see, look how thick that is. I could probably put more water in this. I don't have a spritzer, so I'm gonna have to work this in manual, like using the tips. I stand kind of between two schools of thought on the misters. We had a very dear friend, Josh, here on the channel, who used a sprayer, a squirt bottle, as you would, to add water to the bowl lather. And I do that. I don't have the spritzer here now because somebody borrowed it and hasn't returned it yet. But I do it that way. But maybe not to the face. I haven't quite decided yet, though. As the really fine misters, and obviously the Barber Dave BD 2000 1700 psi nucleogenic sprayer probably would do pretty good too. Now, these razors were intended to be used with one hand on somebody else like this. So you have an angle that's straight down, and then you have this, which is what you base your, I'm not going to have that against my finger, but you kind of base your shaving angle on that. Now, there are two complications that come with that. One is that I am still pretty right-handed as far as it comes to my straight shaves. So because of that I can't introduce my left hand to, I'm not sure how I would do it. I don't know, I'm working out the handwork for this side of my face. Otherwise, I'm going to have to use the razor backwards, which doesn't hurt anything. This is essentially like like using a wedge. It's just, I can hear those toes curling. I acknowledge that that's probably not a safe angle to try and use this thing. We'll call this a Jethro Tull stroke because, of course, I think the flute goes this way, doesn't it? This blade, though, I keyed it up. On pasted balsa, and it is sizzlingly sharp. I pulled out a couple of whisker hairs. You know, like when you're combing your mustache, and a couple hairs come out, and then I brought this thing up against it, and there wasn't even a click when the hair was severed. It just fell in half. It's that sharp. So I don't have any illusions that I might not come out of this unscathed. So here we go again. I was able to use the correct side of the blade on this part coming up, but now I have to go backwards, opposite. Which means all it really means is I have to adjust my angle a little bit. Now, if you're new to open blade shaving, I would wait a little while before you go to a true Camisori, or unless you're really comfortable with setting your angles on the fly, which I don't have much of a problem with, but some people might. Now, this is darn close to a one-pass shave. There's just really knocked the hell out of those whiskers. I'm going to do a across the grain, or against the grain probably, because it feels sharp enough that I can do that without any irritation. I remember in 1969, the 20th of July, I was a kid. I was 9 years old. No, I was 8 years old. 69, I was 8 because my birthday's in December, so I was 8 years old. And we watched the lunar landing at Kadena Air Force Base in Okinawa on a little black and white TV. It was very exciting, and everybody was just nuts. Because I was 8, I don't have a whole lot of memory of context as far as what was going on in the world. I just knew I was a kid. There, and I knew that there was a landing. We were on the moon, and the Japanese ate that stuff up. They were all over it. Before you knew it, there was pencil boxes and lunar lander or LM, lunar module toys. And of course, fireworks and everything else. We weren't allowed to have them on base, but my brother and I would walk out of the front gates. We weren't far from the gates. We could walk right into Fusa, which is a little, not Fusa. What was the name of that little town? I don't remember. Anyway, here we are with a very treacherous angle again. I don't feel comfortable doing that. I'm gonna go back to this. I do remember fairly clearly watching the landing. I don't know if I saw it live or if it was a tape delay when we got the news, or we're watching it, because I wasn't aware of a lot of stuff at the time. But now that I'm a little bit older, okay, 51 years older, I get the chance to honor those folks who participated in that endeavor. I'm making a shave with the soap. I'll be using. I'm wearing my Speedy watch. This is a copy of an Omega Speedmaster, which was the timepiece that they adopted for the mission. And all this soap that's left over. Yeah, I mean, I could do several more stroke passes. Let's check. Feel ourselves up a bit here. Maybe we can do a little bit of cleanup. I'm a little bit intimidated by this razor. You should never, well, I don't know. If I'm intimidated by a razor, then that's what kind of my subconscious telling me to, Rich, you better be careful or you're gonna hurt yourself. And then I'd get yelled at because this is Wednesday and the spouse unit is home. Which means I would get yelled at if I cut myself, because she has stuff she wants to get done today, and taking me to the emergency room to get my face fixed isn't amongst those tasks. You're not going to hear much out of this. Blade as it's severing things, because it is the cutting edge of this blade is only about maybe an inch and a half. So you're getting less per stroke, but dang, is it? It's taking them down a little bit here, but I think that's skin. I don't think that's whisker. This soap, I've only used it a couple of times. It's got tremendous slickness still, even after I've scraped most of it off. I think what I'm going to do is yank out the Vector, which is sitting here on standby, and I'll just kind of wipe down here just to make sure that that is actually skin and not whiskers. It appears it's about half and half. Okay. See what the alum says. Oh, nothing. I'm not getting any buzz. I sigh a huge sigh of relief. Like I said, I don't use this particular razor very much, so my comfort level with it isn't where it ought to be. Okay. I still have a lot of this, so Thayer's Lemon is still being used. Oh yeah, I'm pretty smooth. Probably BBS minus. I'd do better once I get a little more time with this blade. And we'll finish up with, because we were there with my father, I have only memories of, the only aftershave my father ever used that I know of was Old Spice. So this is vintage Old Spice. Use a splash of it for memory of my father. We were there, and apparently there was some tracking done across the Pacific. Dad was a quality assurance person and made sure stuff worked, much to the chagrin of some people. Scent my hair a little bit, so I smell nice all over. Wife unit's not as hoorah about Old Spice, because I think her father also used it, but I don't care. I like it. That's pretty much all we have for today. I am Major Rich, and you will find me at theshavingcadre.com. If you're finding me here on YouTube, I'd ask that you like and subscribe. That helps spread the gospel of open shaving. And or if you find me there, it's a great place to be. Probably one of the most friendly places to go. We have Zoom calls on a regular basis, and we talk about all kinds of interesting things. Razors and open blade shaving and DE shaves and single edges, and there's a number of people who do videos just like me, creating content for the what do we call it? Where the videos are, and that's where all my stuff is stored. But I invite you to come in and partake. It's a great place to be. We even have a few women who shave. Not all the time, I mean, but they are members there and take part in some of our discussion in our Zoom calls and in the games that we play. We have a D&D group. We have all kinds of stuff like that. So if you think about it and you're in the neighborhood, stop by. I think you'll enjoy it. And we will see you next time. Bye-bye.